What you gonna do, fiat dollar? On CryptoBullGod and his crypto maniacs and the entire cryptocurrency market run wild on you.
Welcome in. I am the CryptoBullGod, and in today's video, it has begun. So let it be written, so let it be done. The final leg of this 4-year journey has just begun. In today's video, we're going to focus on the USD value of Bitcoin on several different time frames, and I'm going to show you why I believe and feel convicted that the trend reversal in Bitcoin has just begun, and we're entering the final leg of this 4-year journey in this massive crypto bull cycle. Please, there's nothing that you can do more if you appreciate my content than to subscribe to the channel, hit the like button. It takes 5 seconds. It takes a second, actually, less than 5 seconds. Share the content, leave a comment. You can leave me whatever comment you want. It's going to help spread awareness of sound technical analysis throughout the community. Just a quick disclosure that none of what I'm sharing is financial advice. I'm looking to educate, help, and spread sound technical analysis to the community to help others in making informed decisions. The ownership falls on you to make your own personal financial decisions. Before we get into the charts here, you can find me on Twitter at CryptoBullGod. I'm nearing 4,000 followers. As always, thank you very much. All humor aside, I really appreciate it because I do put a lot of hard work into this, so I really appreciate it. You can also find me on Tradingview at CryptoBullGod, which I've been not active. I keep saying I'm going to get more active. So what we're going to do, is we're actually going to do things we're going to start from the smallest time frame and work our way up to the larger time frame on the 1 month time frame, and I'll explain why we're doing that. So the first view that we're going to look at for Bitcoin is we're going to look at the 4-hour chart. Okay, on the 4-hour chart, there's a couple things I want to point out to you. First thing that you should notice is that we're building stair steps. Okay, look at this stair step action going on. This is the basic sign of a trend reversal. What is this? What does this represent when you see stair steps, as I have shown here? You're seeing higher highs, right? Higher highs and higher lows. Higher lows, okay? This is the clear sign of a potential trend reversal, but there's something more significant on the 4-hour chart that I'd like to point out to you. This is a golden cross. The purple line is the 50 SMA. The pink line is the 200 SMA. We have a cross of the 50 above the 200, which is what a golden cross is. This is the first time. Now, notice we had a cross here, but this was a fake out. Notice that the 200 was trending down. Here we have the 200 bottoming out, and it's beginning to curl up. And we have all three of our trend lines, the 10, 20, and 50, crossed above the 200. This is a clear golden cross, a very bullish sign on the 4-hour chart. The last time we had this specific cross on the 4-hour chart, look all the way back here. All the way back in February of 2021. This was the last time right here that we had a golden cross on the 4-hour chart. Okay, so this was on February 6th of 2021. So what has that been? It's been over 5 months. It's been over almost 6 months since we've had this. Now, why did I want to start out with a smaller time frame, right? One of the things I preach on my channel is I preach to focus on the big picture, right? So why would I start off with a 4-hour chart? Well, there's a very distinct reason why I would want to start out with a 4-hour chart. As you zoom in on a micro perspective view of things, in this case a 4-hour chart, it can be a leading indicator in terms of what may play out in the larger time frames, which are more significant to price action, right? I stress on this channel to zoom out, look at the big picture, look at a weekly chart, look at a monthly chart. It has a lot more credibility because there's more time frame, there's more price data contained within each candlestick. But what we can do is we can zoom in on smaller time frames to try to give us a hint, a leading indicator in terms of what may bleed over eventually into the larger time frames. So here, okay, we're seeing a golden cross on the 4-hour. So let's get into the daily price action and talk about what's going on in the daily. One of the things I had tweeted about, and this is why it's important if you're not following me on Twitter to follow me at CryptoBullGod on Twitter, I had pointed out as price action here, this was a negative divergence on the RSI. This is on the daily time frame, okay? So essentially what's going on here is you see these red circles. All this is pointing out is that the RSI, or the relative strength index, and it's literally exactly as it sounds, it's the strength within the price movements, how much strength there is within the movement in price that's taking place within the charts we're looking at. The RSI is moving down as price was moving up. That's a bearish signal. So one of the things I was relentlessly tweeting about is we needed to see a trend reversal on the daily RSI to feel convicted that price was building bullish momentum moving forward. And so as you can see here, one of the things I had charted about is we had this capitulation wick down here, and eventually actually made our low here at $28,600. Well, now we actually had the reverse going on. We had this bullish RSI going on, meaning the RSI was increasing in value as the price sort of stagnated in this area, in this $30,000 range. And what we wanted to see, and what I pointed out, is eventually we wanted to get above this area really to feel convicted that we would see a turnaround at 67.5 on the RSI. We're up near 70 right now. In fact, we're exactly at 70 as I speak. Thank you, Bitcoin, for making that work perfect. But the point is actually, I believe it was yesterday, we negated the negative RSI on the daily USD chart, which is a very bullish sign. Here's the other thing I want to point out. This, ladies and gentlemen, is what we want to see in terms of a trend reversal. Going back to the title of the video, it has begun. The basic premise in charting to see a trend reversal is to see higher lows and higher highs. There's a low in a blue circle here. There's a high in a red circle here. There's a low in a blue circle here, which is higher than this low. And there's a high up here, which is higher than this high. So we see a higher low. So this is what's going on. Check this out. We have a low here. We have a high here. We have a higher low here, higher high here. This may not stop. This could come all the way up to here. And then what we want to see, and this is not, I'm not pointing to an exact target of what I expect, but essentially what we want to see is we want to see a low that is higher than this low here, right? It could come all the way down here. It could come all the way down to 30,000, okay? But we want to see the low be higher than this low right here. I almost pointed with my finger to the screen, which you wouldn't have been able to see. So that's the basic premise that we want to see. We want to see these higher lows form because that is our true, clear sign that there is a trend reversal in Bitcoin. And the higher the time frame, okay, that we see this, the more conviction we should feel about the trend reversal. So meaning higher lows and higher highs on a daily chart is leaving you feel more convicted than higher lows or higher highs on a 4-hour chart, okay? So far we have two lows, two higher lows, and we have two higher highs. Now we want to see, we're going to have a pullback. We've had such a strong, look at this. Look at this rise in price we've seen, right? We saw a rise straight up from 29,000 all the way up to nearly 41,000. Okay, at some point we're going to have a pullback. So we just want to make sure that as we come back, okay, remain unemotional. Emotion is a money killer. As we pull back, all we want to make sure is as it comes back, okay, we could come back to here, this trend line here, which I can quick touch on. We could go even lower, okay? But we want it, bottom line is we want it to be higher than this low right here. That's the bottom line, which was at about 29,000 something, 29,200 or 300, somewhere around there, okay? So I put in some theoretical targets here just to give you an idea of what I'm looking for. Now, the reason I thought it would, be visually nice if the next higher low pulled back to this area here, you can see there's a clear downward line of resistance here. You see this rejection here, and I'm looking at candle bodies, okay? We broke through it here, so it wouldn't surprise me to come back test around this area, okay? Again, wicks price, Daily price wicks or any candle wick is an expression of volatility, so we could wick below the line, but it wouldn't surprise me to see a close right around this line here because this was an area of downward sloping resistance here, as we can see. So it wouldn't surprise me if we saw this area here hold as support, and then we'd continue our journey up. One more quick comment, the blue zone. All these are, any red lines here are just areas of historic resistance. Okay, I use red lines as resistance, green lines as support. So if we go back in the chart, I'm not going to go back, but if we go back in the chart, what we'd see is these two red lines and then this whole blue zone. This is a really key area of resistance. So we need to break through here. The other thing to look for real quick on the daily chart is another clear bullish sign. So another thing to look for on the daily is the highest high we had since we broke down to around 30,000. We bounced up, it looks like, on this candlestick right here to 43,000. So once we clear 43,000, which is right around here, okay, right around 43,000, there's now a downward, you see this dark black line here? After 43,000, we'd want to clear this downward sloping line. Once we get in the upper 40,000 range and in the 50,000s, look, the bottom line is it's all going to be about breaking this all-time high up here at 65,000. We really need to get above 65,000, okay? One more thing that I forgot to hit on before we moved into the daily chart here is on the 12-hour, not only do we have this zone I just spoke to that I marked here with red lines and a blue zone, which are, it's prior price confluence, areas of support and resistance. Okay, anytime we break, again, below an area of prior support, it's going to act as an area of resistance, okay? It was a floor. We broke below the floor. Now it's a ceiling. It's got, you know, the more we hit that ceiling, the more likelihood we'll break it, but it's going to act as resistance at first, right? Well, it's not surprising. If you look at the 12-hour chart, which is a chart I speak to pretty frequently, the 200 SMA, which is a key moving average line, you'll see it's rejecting right off that line. So there's a lot of price confluence right here at the 40,000 range. We have a 200 SMA on the 12-hour. We have the 41 to 43 area as prior price confluence. Once we break above there, okay, we really ultimately want to see how price reacts with this historic downward sloping line here, okay, since we made our 65,000 high. Once we break above this black line, it's all about this all-time high up here at 65,000. That's all it's about. You want to see, once we get into like the upper 40,000 range, the 50,000 range, because Bitcoin will get back up in that area and ultimately correct at some point. It's not going to be a straight line up. We want to watch to see for 65,000 to be broken. Once 65,000 is broken, again, we're in price discovery, and we're going to go much, much higher. Let's take a look at the weekly. The only thing I wanted to take a look at on the weekly actually were a few price indicators. The first is the NVT. Now, it's not necessarily important to understand all of the fundamentals surrounding a price indicator. It's more important to understand how historically important it has in being a leading indicator and projecting where price might be headed. And that's what I'm going to communicate to you right now. So for the NVT, what I've drawn here is a historic line of support, right? And as you can see back here in January of 2018, look, I've been here for 4 years, so this is very familiar to me. When we bottomed in January 2018, this is the line right here. This was... This looks like it was in December of 18, so we didn't get quite close to here. But when we had our capitulation wick during COVID in March of 20, you'll see we bottomed here. And now, when we had all this FUD and all this, negativity going on and all saltiness in the market, we hit this trend line. The point of this is we've hit a historic trend line of support, and we have not broken below it. The other thing I would like to point out to you that's important to keep in mind with the NVT is that with the NVT, we've turned from black to red. So what you want to do is if you want the price, like myself, and hopefully you watching this video, if you're a bull and you'd like to see price continue up and you believe the top is not in, okay, and I'll leave a link in the video for that video on the 6 empirical data points, some of the science models of why all the models say we have nowhere near topped. You want to see this red remain red. We don't want this to go back to black, okay? So keep an eye on the NVT on the weekly to make sure this red does not go back to black. We want this to remain red. The other thing I wanted to point out on the weekly chart, okay, this is on the weekly chart. I want to point out the Mayer multiple. Mayer multiple, look, it's got a fancy name to it. All you have to know is it's the Bitcoin USD price value in relation to the 200 SMA. And so if you think about it, just intuitively think about this. If you understand what I just said, it's the Bitcoin USD in relation to the 200 SMA. So if this Mayer multiple is 1, it means that Bitcoin's price, its USD value, equals exactly what the 200 SMA is. It's just a ratio. That's all it is. It's just the Bitcoin USD divided by the 200 SMA on a daily chart. That's all it is. Or in this case, sorry, it's a weekly chart. But so any value, historically, what I'm showing here, any value that is under 1 means that Bitcoin's USD value is under the 200 SMA. And as you can see, based on the chart here, it's undervalued. Anytime we start getting up to like the 2.4 level or vastly above it, these are market cycle peaks here. You can see I've shown these areas where it was very overvalued and then we've come back below 1. I've drawn a trend line here. Back in December 18, okay, when we fell to $3,000, okay, I was here for that. The Mayer multiple was at 0.5, roughly 0.5, meaning that Bitcoin's USD value was half of the 200 SMA. Let's go to March 20 when all the craziness took place. All the crazy lockdowns, fun times. The Mayer multiple is 0.6. So what that's saying is the USD value of Bitcoin was 60% of the 200 SMA. What happened here? Look, we bounced right off this trend line. I'm not making this stuff up. This is factual data. Look at this trend line, okay? We bounced right off of it at about 0.7. So Bitcoin's USD value is 70% of the 200 SMA. It's a pretty damn good buying opportunity if you're buying off this trend line. Look how we bounced here. Okay, I'll, in case you can't see that. Look how we bounced here, okay? When we came down here, look how we bounced here. Okay, chances are we're going to do something like this. All right. So it presents a great buying opportunity. This is really what I wanted to focus on. I don't know what's going on with Tradingview. This is what I wanted you to focus on the weekly view. Let's talk about the monthly view. Now, remember, anytime we zoom out and we have more price data contained within a candlestick, such as the monthly view with Bitcoin, it is more significant. Okay. What I want to point out here is, first off, it's very bullish that the monthly candle is remaining above the 10 SMA. The second thing I want to point out here that is extremely important and you want to keep an eye on how Bitcoin closes for the month of July. Okay, there's two things I want to say here. I want to make sure I'm very clear on this, and this is the note we're ending on. This red line is a very historic line, okay? You can't see it. The RSI on the monthly view is at 60. Historically around 60 on the RSI. When we start flirting with levels below 60, it's very bearish. As long as we remain above 60, it's motherfucking bullish. All right? So I'm giving you two examples in recent history. We can go back further in time, but I'm just going to give you the two most recent examples, okay? This here was back in May of 2018. Okay. As you can see, the RSI here dipped below 60. What happened? The RSI continued to decline to very low levels at, looks like 43. Look at the price action. Look at my red arrow. Price declined, right? So as the relative strength index went below 60 and never recovered, the price went drastically lower. I was here for that. Now, let's look what happened here. The RSI, once we got above 60, look at this zone here, okay? We were kind of bouncing around all in this area, but once we got above it, look at the RSI. It shot all the way up to 92, okay? Look at the price action. Look at this blue arrow. We shot up from 10,000 all the way up to 65,000. Okay, we did a 6.5x. All right. So this 60 level, and you can go back in time and see the same thing with prior price action. If you're pulling up a monthly view, half my body was missing. Sorry about that. If you're pulling up a monthly view on Bitcoin on Tradingview, one of the things I would encourage you to do is to pull up the RSI and keep an eye on the 60. Now, as you can see here, the RSI has remained above 60. This is bullish. Okay, we don't want to see this dip below 60. It's very, very critical how this month closes. I anticipate this monthly close to be somewhere in the $40,000 range. That's what I'm currently anticipating. There's one other thing I wanted to point out about this monthly close. This is not something I'm saying that's going to happen. This is just something that I noticed within the chart, and this is something I pointed out at the end of June. Look at my tweet on June 30th. A very common reversal candlestick pattern within charts, okay, historically, is what's known as a Doji Morningstar. If you want to read up on what a Doji Morningstar is, literally just go to Investopedia and read up on it. But essentially what you have is, as you can see here, you have a long body here of red in the candle. You have sort of an indecision candle here that's circled. Okay, this could be red or green. The candlestick could have closed positive or negative, but it's a Doji indecision candle. The next month is very bullish. Okay, huge green body candle. So what I was pointing out already, because I do have a bullish bias. I'm not biased in evaluating the shorter term time frames if it's bullish or bearish, but macro perspective. Again, I like to zoom out and keep perspective, and it helps to keep my emotions in check. Yes, I have a very bullish bias, believing that we're going to have a huge blow off top by the end of this year. So what I already started to formulate in my head was, look, if July is a bullish month, like I was anticipating back in June, if we can get a close somewhere a little higher, maybe around 45,000, 48,000, somewhere around there, this could be what I was pointing out here, a Doji Morningstar reversal pattern, indicating that we have a lot higher upside to go. So keep in mind, or keep that in mind when you're taking a look at the monthly view. And that's really all I have. So I guess the only question is, based on all of the data that you shared with me, you better have hit the like button. You better have dropped a comment. Drop a comment. I like engaging. And share the comment. Subscribe to the channel. I guess the only question is, how am I feeling right now?
This shit ain't done.
Woo! 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 If you think I'm excited right now, if you think that I am excited right now, you better believe that as we begin to enter the fourth quarter of this year and you see prices explode, I will be doing a live stream to be with anybody who wants to celebrate with me, because this shit's going a lot higher. So prepare yourself. This is all logic. This is all data. It's all in the price. Everything I've shared with you, it's factual information. And I hope you enjoyed the content. So if you did, please, again, drop a like, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel, share. I would really appreciate it. I do work really hard on this. So until next time, spread awareness and carry the education forward. Thank you.